Yeah, well, and you hit it right. So we have the fear, worrying on the one end, but what this teaching is the shame, the guilt, the blaming, the criticizing, the victimhood, right? That's the reliving the past, right? That's
Hmm.
the emotions that those elicit, right? So what does telling a new story look like? I wish I could say, here's how you do it, right? And I think I said at the outset, there's no roadmap for here's exactly how you should do it, right? Obviously, we all have slightly different ideas about things, but having the freedom to try and make a real effort at this is what the channels are saying is all that's needed, right? Is
Oh,
literally,
okay.
literally
All right.
just putting this into play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make an even bigger idea out of this here in a second. But that's what they're saying is like if you just give it some effort, right, to tell a new story, then
Mm-hmm.
when the old story arises, we're not saying that you're not going to ever remember the old story again, but when you see it happening, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
see quickly see how it conflicts with your new story. So you won't dwell
Right,
on
right,
it.
right,
You won't
right.
ruminate it on as long, right? Because you're now working on this new story.
Right.
And again, it's not this, let's go from, in the poorhouse to being a billionaire. That's, a bit of a stretch, right? But this new story is just this, I have the power to create a life that I want.
Yeah.
And, the basis of that life is, happy, healthy, harmonious.
Right. Like if you wanted to start your story, you could say, today's the first day of my life. I have free will and I have the power to create what I want. And I create happiness, healthiness, health, and what did you say?
Yeah, you could just say, I am happy, healthy, and harmonious.
Yeah. And the first line of my story is I am happy, healthy, and harmonious.
Yeah.
And
And
then, like, as long as once you've committed to that, and as we said, you don't need to like be a professor of writing stories. Just like as long as you have something to remind yourself is that you're not telling the old story. As soon as the new old story comes up, you just go, "Oh, that thing." Anyway, I'm gonna think about something else, and that's all
right,
you need to do.
right. And, key in this, right, is if you it's not enough. It's just like saying I'm grateful for my children and my wife and my parents and my house, right? There's this gratitude idea isn't a bunch of thoughts strung together, right? It's a feeling that matters, right? It's the
Hmm.
feeling of gratitude that matters. So when you make a statement like I'm happy, healthy, harmonious, right? What feeling is associated with your happiness? So if you really spend a moment on that, you're going to get an image visualization of what feeling happy looks like
Hmm.
and harmonious and healthy, right? Whatever those things are. Like if I was perfectly healthy, I could go out and run a mile in 6 minutes, right? So you imagine yourself running, 6 minute mile or something, right? And that, so there's a feeling associated with that. Everyone has a different. Other people, it may be walking around the block, may be a feeling of great health, right? So there's no one thing, but it's the once you make the assertive statement that I have the power to be happy, healthy, harmonious, you then have to have those feelings associated with it because it's the thought plus the feeling that forms the belief. Yeah, we did that in the last
Hmm.
went over this in the last pair podcast. I'm not going to do it all over again, but that's it. We have these thoughts, right? They bunch together, they create feelings. We have this group of thoughts that produce these feelings, and then we get the result. So
Hmm.
that positive new story affirmation, whatever it is for a person, right? That's got to have the associated feelings. And those associated feelings typically produce imaginative visualizations. And then those enhance the feelings, right? This is what harmonious feels like to me. Fill in the blank. Yeah.
Sounds pretty easy.
Yeah. It's breathtakingly
It is
easy.
easy.
It just sounds impossible. It
Yeah, it
doesn't,
sounds difficult, but
right.
it's
So not
It's the complete opposite of difficult.
Not yeah, it's not difficult. It just sounds like it flies in the face of what we've all been brainwashed into believing.
Hmm.
Right? No one ever told us that our imagination generates our reality. Never been
It sounds
taught,
like if you're like you can fly and it's not difficult. It sounds difficult, but it's not. Because once you believe you can fly, you just fly.
right? It's well, it's like, do you believe you can walk?
Right.
Right? Like, when's the last time you thought thought about whether or not you could walk or not? Right?
Hmm.
You just walk, right? As long as you've been forming memories, you've been walking,
Right.
right?
Even there was a time in your life where you literally couldn't walk, and that would have seemed impossible, and then you just walked.
Yeah, and you don't have any memories of that time, right? Most of us anyway, before 3 years old, right? We're usually walking before we're forming memories. But yeah, you just it's just this thing that you do. So and your imagination carries that power, right? Like it is possible to fly in your imagination. And again, that's a kind of an outrageous thing to imagine doing, right? In relationship to what we believe is possible today. But it's not impossible to feel happy, healthy, harmonious, and
Hmm.
what those feelings mean to you. And maybe you just pick one of those things. I just want to feel happy, right? Like, what does feeling happy feel like to me, right? And again, everyone
Hmm.
has a different idea of it. So there's no one way you can say, here's how you feel happy. But that it just you're just your mind starts to go, your imagination starts to go. This is what happiness feels like. And that's what you want. You want the feelings, right? That's the creative energy, right? The energy in motion, the emotions, right? That's what we're looking for. So that's vital in telling a new story. Yeah.
Yeah, like to me, it makes like perfect sense and seems really easy, and that everyone should just do it tomorrow and every single day.
Right. Well, now here's where I expand the idea. So if some people are going to think, well, my life's I'm pretty happy, healthy, and harmonious. Everything's pretty good in my life. Great. Now, right, do this on behalf of mankind, right?
Hmm.
So send love to Biden, send love to Trump, right? Don't say all politicians are, liars and snakes and the banksters are killing us and inflation's going to wipe us out, right? That's a story we're all telling too, right?
Hmm.
And this is corrupt and that's evil and these ones Satan worshiping and these people sold their soul to the devil, right? Like those are all stories we're all telling too for on the collective, and we can also change those stories, right? And
Hmm.
tell a positive story. Like these people are gonna stop being, right? Everyone's gonna, in this area is gonna, start telling the truth, and things are gonna get better here, and things are already getting better there. And so we can, even if you are generally happy with your life in the spot that it's in, you can do this for your loved ones and your friends as well as humanity in general. So yeah, this is the greater good idea, right? For those of us who are generally happy with our own lives in general or have the time, energy, and wherewithal to work on behalf of not only ourselves but others, is to stop telling these negative old stories about society and the economy and the government and the politicians and all the other, corruption and everything that we see out there today, is to ease up on that and tell a new story about those people and institutions.
Hmm.